The power outage on the 9th of August caused serious problems for Londoners, and it's right that everyone involved does their part to avoid it happening again. My officers work closely with the energy suppliers to improve and maintain the resilience of their networks to help keep London running smoothly. My infrastructure high-level group, chaired by my Deputy Mayor for Planning, Regeneration and Skills, Jules Pipe, convened senior representatives from the city's infrastructure sectors, including energy suppliers and the national grid, to plan for the future, embedding resilience into their work as London changes and grows. The London Resilience Partnership, over 170 organisations, including energy suppliers and the national grid, work together to prepare for and respond to emergencies in our city. My Deputy Mayor for Fire and Resilience chairs regular meetings of the London Resilience Forum, setting the strategic direction for the wider partnership. In this case, London Resilience made contact with the network operators and power was restored relatively quickly. However, the resilience of the national network is the responsibility of National Grid and ultimately central government. Ofgem is now investigating the circumstances surrounding the outage, and it could take enforcement action against National Grid if necessary. Meanwhile, in London, we continue to work on energy resilience issues. In December, I created an infrastructure coordination team that supports collaboration across organisations. And with increasing local renewable energy generation and electrification of heat and transport networks, we're running smart energy programmes to pilot how we can store and use energy to reduce pressure on the grid.
Well, thank you for that reply. And it's clear that you do agree that the impact on London was serious, with hundreds of people stranded at King's Cross. At some tube stations, lights went out and staff had to guide passengers with torches. Yeah. At Kentish Town, in my constituency, passengers had to leave the train and walk along the track. The London Resilience Partnership's risk register rates the risk of failure of the national electricity transmission as very high. But do you believe increasing numbers of severe weather events due to climate change make future power cuts more likely? Could Brexit impact on electricity supply? And if so, what plans have been made to respond to these risks with ever-growing demand for electricity from homes, businesses and transport?
Yeah, there are concerns many have raised in relation to the impact of Brexit on energy supply. We've been reassured by the government that there's no reason to be concerned or alarmed. The problem is they've not shared some of their analysis and the information that they use for their analysis with us. We've been told there is enough resilience there. Your other question, though, is really important about climate change, the impact of climate change and energy security. And that's a more medium to long-term issue where we need reassurance in relation to energy supplies. One of the reasons why I mentioned the pilots we're doing in relation to local work taking place is that helps take some of the pressure off the national grid. All of us will be looking with interest at what Ofgem says in relation to their investigation into National Grid and how they dealt with the outage you referred to.
Well, thank you for that. And on the Brexit issue, it's actually referred to in Operational Yellowhammer, the document that was published yesterday. And it's right, it says that there won't be immediate disruption to electricity or gas interconnectors, but they say it could occur rapidly within months or years after EU exit. It says that in that event there would not be security of supply issues. And in any event, it says there will be likely significant electricity price increases for consumers, business and domestic, with associated wider economic and political impacts. So it is the case that Brexit is likely to impact on electricity supply in the medium to longer term. And in any event, prices are going to go up, affecting Londoners, especially the less well off.
Absolutely. So in my introduction, in my opening statement, I referred to the long-term impacts of Brexit on our city in terms of our economy, jobs and growth. The Yellowhammer document, by the way, we've not seen the redacted paragraph in relation to petrol tariffs, but the government's own assessment is a reason to be concerned, and that's why it's important the government is straight with us in relation to what the future holds with a Brexit, but even worse with a catastrophic no-deal Brexit.